So welcome everybody to this cooking session. This is one of the Safara winter cooking sessions, winter warmers we're calling it. My name is Lorraine and I'm really pleased to be here at this setting because we've had a couple of sessions where we've not been able to get here for one reason and another. So very glad to be here. COVID was one, absolutely. So we've finally been able to run this session for you. I'm a qualified nutritionist. My background is in public services. I've done a lot of work for different charities that might be of interest to people like yourself, like Parkinson's disease society, spinal injuries, muscular dystrophy, different group things like that, and the public sector. But I retrained in psychology and nutrition in the last few years because of my own health, where I had a rare form of arthritis. And I was diagnosed early, and I thought there must be something I can do. There must be something I can do to help myself. And I sort of followed a particular anti-inflammatory sort of diet, and I don't have any symptoms. So that's my story. And I studied and qualified as a nutritionist because I didn't want to become Gillian McKeith. You ever seen her on the telly?
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't want to be one of a Gillian McKeith. But I did train like a Gillian McKeith actually in the end. But her style is obviously particular to her and not you if you've seen her. What we do is community cooking. So we are a group of nutritionists who go out and we do cooking with different groups of people in the community, people like yourselves, people sometimes other groups, sometimes with children as well. And our purpose is to create some nice, delicious food that we're going to be easy to cook, cheap to cook, to freeze. So I hope this is a recipe you haven't actually tried before. So today we've got sweet potato falafels. So the first thing we need to do is start our sweet potatoes off. It's a bit of an interactive session. That's why you've got knives on your and chopping boards on your tables. If I can give you the recipe. There are any questions about the session itself. We're just going to be, there's no competition. You've got that, bless you. Organised.
No, totally.
Employees organised. But there you've got like the full recipe card there. I do have an evaluation form at the end. If you'd be very kind to fill that out, that would be amazing. So we've got a few other recipes as well if you want to take those away. So why have we chosen this particular recipe? Oh, sweet and sour chicken last week was so popular. Wow. We've got people saying, oh, I don't normally cook. Oh, yes, I will cook this. And, you know, it was quite good. Not last week, the week before, sorry. A few weeks ago in Nottingham. So quite in the north, but another Stonewater setting. We're part of Circles of Support for Stonewater. That's why we're here in the Stonewater setting, the Long Lane Foundation. So, sweet potato falafel. Do people like sweet potatoes? Try them. Great. This is a great opportunity to try them then. Other people like them? Yeah. Great. Well, they're a bit like a normal potato, but they're sweet, essentially. They are a very different texture, yeah, and a different flavour. And they're just a little bit more nutritious. So that's why we're looking at sweet potatoes. A bit of an alternative to the regular humble potato that we normally use. So I'm going to find the food and ask if anybody would be willing to help peel some of the sweet potato because we need to mash that. And it's a chickpea recipe.
Very good for you.
Chickpea, exactly. So what might be good about wants to have a go just peeling them and chopping them. We need to just stick them in boiling water like we would potatoes. I've got peelers on the table. Yeah, you've got one peeler there.
I find these difficult to peel, at least when I bought them.
You want to use a short peeler?
Have you got a sharp knife? That's all right, I've got a knife. Yes.
No, they're too big. Is that too big? There's a slightly smaller one there, if that's helpful. So you don't feel you have to do any chopping of cooking, but I know all these ladies, I'm sure many of you have done some cooking. I can see people doing it the traditional way with a knife, just the way my grandmother and my mum would chop potatoes. So what we need to do is get our sweet potatoes. We're making double batch here because of the number of people here. is get our sweet potato and boil it so that we can mash it, and then we can mix it with our chickpeas. So chickpeas, let's think about them. You can get dried ones, can't you? You know, have anybody had dried chickpeas and tried those? No. I don't usually bother with dried.
Do you have to soak the dried?
You have to soak, because you have to soak them. Hello, welcome. Can you walk yourself around that table?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
There's one here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
It's 60 and
Just
brown.
got the recipe to knock out and anyone else is there. So this is it, sweet potato falafels. Hopefully you've got that online.
Is that all right?
Peeling our,
And then,
we're currently peeling our potatoes with our peelers. I prefer those straight peelers. These ones I find trickier. Does anyone else have the same issue? I always say it's because I'm left-handed, but I don't know. I've got one of those. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're getting this meal together. We're not doing our individual ones. It's not MasterChef. It's community cooking. But has anyone got any cooking training? Any chefs here or? Sometimes we find
domestic side.
Yes. You see, this is the thing. This isn't being taught unless you take it as a subject. Food tech isn't being taught now, is it, in schools? No. And this is an issue. You know, it was in my day too.
When I was at school, we learned how to make toast and make some roux sauces and everything.
Yeah.
When will I them cut?
And just some big chunks. So I'm going to cut this one like this. Like this. So I'm going to give you a bowl for your leftovers. I want to put any of your leftovers. And then I know. Then this is where you chop potatoes, just some bits of it, and then that's the chopped potatoes. The bits in your green one. Green for green waste. So we're going to chop our sweet potato. You just chop it, but I'll just show you how I'm doing this.
Slices
Into big slices, and then when you've done it, if you want to bring it up, be careful of the wire here. We'll pop them in the pan. So do you see mine there? I'll just chop them like that. Just chop them roughly like that into big chunks. And let you go. There's a lot of bashing.
We've done
Lots of bashing going on here.
Somebody's
Shall
got
I?
too much energy.
Does anybody want any? Yeah. If you make them too small with sweet potatoes, I don't know what your experience is, ladies. But what if you make them too small, then they can be get mushy. Too mushy too quickly. That would be my one. It's not easy, is it? Not easy. Yeah, it's like a bit like that's okay. So we're going to get them on, back that up to high. So we've got complete potato on the floor. We can wash.
It's not small enough to be. We are.
Thank you. Fantastic. That's it. Fantastic. Thank you very much, ladies. So we need to get those boiling, and my 2-ring hob is not the most effective cooking thing in the world. So I'm just letting you know that, because things take longer than they would normally here. I'm just going to wash these ones.
I don't know this bloody lot.
Yeah.
And he was a super speaker, and it was about
Put these ones in as well. So we need to, and then we need to mash our chickpeas. Anyone had falafels before?
No.
Yes.
No, no. Okay, I'm so glad we did this recipe then, because I don't want it to be something everybody.
They sell them in all the
Yeah.
supermarkets. don't they?
Do you have tried them?
I haven't, my
No.
daughter was saying she has them
Great.
Yes. Yes.
Wait, sorry.
Just wanted to know how long you cooked them for.
Right, so I would say about 15 minutes, you need to check them. The usual thing like potatoes, you need to stick
Yes.
a knife in them. So I'd say about 15 minutes-ish. Again, it sort of depends on the size, how quickly your hob heats up. This is just only coming back up to the boil. But hopefully it will get going in a minute. So the chickpeas are our next ingredient, and our onion. And I was going to make some hummus as well. So does anyone like opening tins?
No.
No. I'll do that then.
Well, what's the, oh yes, I
What
was
are these?
They are territory and
It
fun
hasn't-
when they
Hang on, just because my husband went shopping for me yesterday because I had tooth access and I'm on antibiotics, but I'm fine today, don't worry. He went shopping for me yesterday and he brought these back from home and went, we don't have a wrinkle. Isn't that these days? You think,
Yeah.
yeah. You just assume that you want one, don't you? Not if you need to have a wrinkle.
I
suppose.
disagree with you there, because how very often do you pull it and it all come up? So you have to refer back
To one of these, one through. Yeah. So you need just one of these tins for a normal amount, but we're making double because of all these, how many lovely ladies there are here today. So that's what they're doing. We need to drain them, so I can do that in the kitchen here.
I think that.
video.
And then we need to roughly,
That's it, because it's going to.
we need to roughly mash them, but just keep them a bit crunch, keep them a bit, don't turn them to mush. Who likes mashing?
Okay, finish the tin opening.
There's a willing volunteer here.
We all can do it, yes, get the aggro out.
That's it. Take it out on the chickpeas. That's what I say.
You wish it. Volunteer. That's good as we.
I think you ought to take this. Turn it on.
Take it
Right,
out.
right, go on then, pass it here.
So would somebody else like to have a go at bashing some chickpeas? There we are. Let me get you a basher. We've got a bashing group here today, not a house. They like bashing. Let me get you a masher. That's a slightly different mash for this one. In the meantime, I'm going to open some even more chickpeas to make some hummus. Have you ever made hummus from scratch? Right, so I'm going to have a go at that as well with you. Because it's a chickpea day. So our chickpeas are a brilliant source of, what do you think, in our diet? What do you think they might be a brilliant source of?
Roughage.
Roughage, fibre, absolutely, absolutely. Anything else that's quite key when we're older? Vitamins it can be, but so chickpeas are full of fibre, we've just been discussing.
Yeah.
But what else as we get older, things like this full of that we're not getting enough in our diet?
E3.
Well, all those things are important, but sorry, it sounds
C.
like a test, doesn't it?
C.
The macronutrient protein.
Ah.
Protein. So one of the things that we can find in our diet, especially if we're cooking for one, eating for one, and just having a slice of toast for breakfast and a sandwich for lunch, and then maybe some pasta for dinner or something like that. If that's our diet, we could be very low on protein. Okay, so, and also given that meat is so expensive, takes a long time to cook. Can do unless you do it in a cooker, as Paddy here does. So just bear that in mind. I'm going to show you a plate about healthy eating just now.
You need to try again.
Can you go?
Yes.
It's going to be my hummus bowl.
What's like soft boiled eggs? What do they
So eggs have always had a good press, then they had a bad press, and now they've got a good press again, haven't they? So yeah, the thing with eggs is
Because it needs to be a metal one. Because
they are a fantastic source of protein. I think it's actually, you know, we should always remember eggs are cheap, they're nutritious. Obviously cook them, but you can do eggs so many different ways, can't you? Does anybody make an omelette?
Yeah,
You know, an omelette, cheese omelette, bit of bacon in it, load of veg. You know, you can't beat soft boiled eggs, you lads, with soldiers. Do you have, how many eggs do you have?
At the most, one a day. But
One a day.
Yes.
So I'm
No
just
more.
checking the timing on this, so because you asked me that question, how long does it take? So now it's only just boiling properly. So I'm on 11:25. Let's see. So you have one, did you say?
Yes.
One.
Yes.
So one egg will have 6 grams of protein in it. So if you're somebody who is about a 75 kilo person, which is about 11 stone, let's just use that as an example of a person. They would need 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So you want to be on, I think 60 something grams of protein a day. One egg has 6. You want to be 60. So just to say, you may not need as much protein as you get older as that. But if you're going to be up to your protein, if you have an omelette, at least you might have 2 or 3 eggs in it. Yeah, do you get me? No, because sometimes eating a whole egg, and it can be hard to digest. You've got to breathe when you eat. You've got to be not stressed when you eat, because our digestion needs that. Otherwise, we can't digest the food properly. You know? I mean, don't like to ask in terms of medication, but a lot of people who are older are on these anti-acid tablets, aren't they? Lupinol and Manzapol. You know, and if we eat, well, no, that's perfect.
I know, but those are.
We have the hard ones.
Yes. So anyway, so if we have a relaxed digestion, that's really important, and that's one thing we haven't talked about before on the session. But it's really important. My friend's reading a book about breathing, and she said, breathe when you eat. You know, I mean, you do breathe, but if you breathe in this shallow breathing, she's thinking about something else, or watching a drama, or watching the news, which is not always very relaxing, is it? Especially at the moment. So this is vlogging. If you're watching vlogging, it might be relaxed.
Yeah, definitely.
Relaxed. So this is our healthy plate. So you get one of these from B&M. I've seen that on our video before. And about half the plate is vegetables. Can you see that? Like they're just under half of the way that dotted line is. But basically, roughly speaking, that's what you're aiming for. And you're aiming for eating all the different colours of the rainbow. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's lovely. Right, we're going to put that together in a second. And you want to be eating all different colours to get all your different micronutrients in the body. But this is your macronutrients here. So your carbohydrates, your protein, and your fats. Your fats are sort of not separate here on this plate, but they're here inside here. So you've got your chicken, which I think they look a bit weird. Those chickens.
They look like onions.
Look weird, and that's salmon. You've got nuts and seeds. Cheese, eggs, beans and pulses. This is where your chickpeas come in, being protein. And then you've got your carbohydrates here. They're much smaller. So that's the sweet potato, pasta, rice, that must be another form of pasta, and potatoes and chips and things like that. They all come into that carbohydrate. But in terms of our carbohydrates, we want to be careful what carbohydrates we take in for a healthy digestion, because the more unrefined they are, the better. I'm sure you probably know this, so tell me if I'm teaching wrong, it's okay. But basically, the more unrefined, so your whole grain pastas, your whole grain rice, your whole grain bread, rather than your plain white, yeah, or your sugars or your sweets or your whatever, because they're all simple sugars and they spike up. Hello, how are you? Are you joining us? Thank you very much. To get you a chair.
Sorry.
Yeah, right. Okay, no. Just settle yourself in. So we're making sweet potato falafels today. Nobody's not allowed to flag. We might need that. We might need that in a minute for some onion.
So what
so
about
chopped
in
fruit.
the diet?
So fruit comes into this part here on our plate, but
All
the
right.
thing with fruit is it's fructose. It's full of natural, healthy vitamins and minerals in fruit, as you know, and especially in the winter time, we want to be getting our vitamin C from our. Got some lemon going into this hummus that we're making at the moment. It's very high in vitamin C, and I'm sure you know. You do want to be having fruits, but you want to be having 2 fruits and 3 or more vegetables a day, and 2 different fruits.
Yes.
And your glass of orange juice, where the government, the government do say that's one of your 5 a day, but if you just drink your glass of orange juice on its own, it's very high in sugar, very high in sugar. So if you're trying to manage your blood sugars, we know how much diabetes, affects people these days, and a lot of us have it. Is that you have to manage your blood sugars, don't you, and diabetes, but we all have to manage our blood sugars, because then that prevents us from getting diabetes. Then we don't spike our blood sugar with these high fructose or high sugar content. So that's why we say fruit in moderation, maybe 2 portions a day, and ideally with some of the foods that you're eating. So that's kind of described as a healthy plate, with your protein and water, with your carbohydrates, but your unrefined carbohydrates, so they're the whole grains, ideally, and then all your different colours of the rainbow. So it just might help if you're thinking about how to make up a healthy plate, because we get so many different messages about food, like the question about eggs we just had a second ago, don't we? Oh, how much should we have? So please do ask questions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we need to put some onion in these falafel. So we need to finely chop an onion. So who's going to finely chopped? We need 2 onions finely chopped then, don't we? So who's going to chop one on there? Thank you very much. So go like one, and then you can put your chop, put your just polish it now. Tiny little pieces if you can. Pop the in there, and then you need a bowl for the onion. Let me know. Here we go.
Sorry?
So it's only had sweet potato in it. So if you want to put the onion in there, you don't have sweet potato in it. There we go. So there's some hand sanitizer around if anybody wants any of that. So I'm just going to start to make the chickpeas, and then there's some gram flour and parsley and garlic. So where's my garlic? There's also some garlic to add to this. I'm using, thank you very much. I'm using gram flour. So we need these, and we'll maybe use would you like to chop some garlic? Yeah. Right. So we have about thank you, about 4 cloves of garlic. But in the meantime, I'm making some hummus here. So I've got a tin of chickpeas again, separate thing. We've got a little bit of tahini, which is sesame seeds. That one. I'm popping in there. I've got a big jar of it at home, so I just bought a small amount. About 2 tablespoons of that. And I'm going to squeeze some lemon into this. And then I'll need some of that garlic that someone's got at the moment. And then I've got the paprika. Salad sweet with our sweet potato in the middle. Oh, there's the paprika from there it is. So I'm using paprika and lemon, chickpeas and tahini. You don't have to put tahini in it. You can even make this with cauliflower if you want to, or something different. I haven't brought my lemon, my special lemon squeezer. I'm just going to go like that and hope I don't get. I'm going to catch any in there.
What will be the roughage?
Yeah. Except they've got cyanide in them. Don't they, in apples and other things. You don't want to. You don't want to have too many of them.
What does she say?
The pips in apples
Apples,
and
yeah.
oranges and lemons have got cyanide in them.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah, if you eat too many.
I know two people in my life that eat whole apples. They just eat the whole apple. They
Yeah.
always have the whole apple.
Mm.
They just know two. And I always think it's strange.
Yeah.
Strange. So I've got a blender for this. I'm just trying to think what else I need. A teaspoon of paprika and the garlic I need, don't I?
Oh, that's all right.
No,
I'll be all right.
That's what I would do to make a hummus.
thank you.
So I need a little bit of garlic. May I grab some from you?
Well, now finally is finally.
Yeah, I think in little squares if you can. The gut,
Well,
I'll have a little go. I'll have a little go.
The potatoes being cooked in for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, thank you. Let's have a look at the potatoes.
Oh,
then.
well, it says in the recipe finally.
5 minutes to get
10 minutes, it was
Okay.
25 grams.
Ah, okay, right. So I'm going to use a couple of cloves of garlic in the. Does everybody like garlic? Does everybody like chickpeas? I've got to ask that at the beginning. But you're saying yes. Right, so that's got pepper in it. Not really that one. So let's we'll hold on to them. Check our sweet potato. Yeah, I'm glad you suggested it. I think
There you go.
they're nearly ready. Just about a minute more for the big chunks. 2 minutes more. Will someone time me 2 minutes?
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, so perfect. Right, so I'm going to just let's show you how to make that hummus. I'm just going to put some more, you can't see this very easily, some garlic in there. Does anyone know how to get the skin off the garlic easily? Put your knife on
Yeah.
top of it and
Squeeze it.
squeeze it, you've got it. Does help. I used to like chopping the ends off myself. There we are. And I've got a brilliant garlic crusher, but of course I've not brought it. It's a rolly one. It has the holes in. It looks a bit like that, like a smaller version of that, but smaller holes.
Yeah.
And you roll it on the garlic.
Mm.
You know, I've spent a lifetime, and I'm 55, trying to get the best kind of garlic press.
Now you-
Because,
When
we
I
like
used to
garlic.
help my mum to
Yeah.
crush garlic on,
Yeah.
on a little plate, a
Yeah.
little bit of salt, and squeeze it to make it into a paste.
So you
Garlic butter. My mum used to make it herself. So
Tell-
butter and then squeeze the garlic, well, mash it with a little bit of salt.
mash it with a bit of salt.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't
with-
know
With
that
a
one.
spoon, little plate, and squeeze it.
Ah,
That was my job. That was cooking.
fantastic. Now, I've just got to find my olive oil, because for some reason it's not in that. Oh, is it? Hiding. That's a good one. I didn't know that one. So I just got a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to put in about 4
Oh, a little bit.
tablespoons. Quite a bit. I'm just looking at it because I've got to blend it, and it just there's enough liquid on it. Perfect. Marvelous. Thank you. We've got the garlic ready. We might need to chop that a bit finely, but I'll do that in a one take. Perfect. Thank you, ladies. Right, but you're all on it. When you work with ladies and do cooking, like you're just so quick at doing everything.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So we'll take that off. We need to drain that. I'm going to drain that first before I show you finishing off the like mashing.
They've all done enough mashing.
Oh, we've got the mushroom.
You all out? I reckon it is.
Do you like,
And
do you
you
like
thought you were going to have an easy lunch, did you?
That's right. I remember something sent out saying you'll be having a cooking demonstration, and it said cooking demonstration. I was like, no, I'm going to be cooking. Does anybody want to mash? Yeah.
Well,
Get rid of the asking, do it. Just be careful because that's hot. I might have to find something to put it on like this. Thank you so much. You see, this is the thing.
Come on, show what you can do.
I'm a community chef, so that I don't
You
have
keep
to do
asking
it all.
for it and then you pass it on in a minute.
Right, I'm going to just finish off the hummus. So we're having a very chickpea feast today. So remember I put the garlic in there. Oh, what else might I want to put in there? Salt and pepper. But I'll do that at the end. So I've already got one of these blenders.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you use it?
Not that be covered.
The depths of the Why might this be a little bit? Why might this be a little bit healthier, this hummus, than the one we buy in the supermarket? Because obviously you can buy one. Yeah. Well, you can buy this. Yeah, as we say, you can buy this in the supermarket. But it's healthier because we're using olive oil.
Coming now.
We're using olive oil. And olive oil is a short chain fatty acid, and it's really good for us. So think about what's the best diet, the Mediterranean diet.
Yes.
What do they eat a lot of? And fish and vegetables.
Yeah.
Twice a week fish, ladies. If anybody guides, 2 or 3 times a week to eat oily fish. If you eat fish, if anybody not eat meat.
I'll tell you what I do with chickpeas. I have chickpeas, spring onion, salt, pepper, and salad cream. Yeah, you make
Don't need that now.
And that's easy to do.
No, we're doing it Norfolk House.
Is
Right.
this fine
So,
enough? for
That
you?
looks wonderful. That looks wonderful. Do you want to put it on
Yes.
there for me? That's great. That did great. Thank you so much. That was hot. That's wonderful. Thank you. What brilliant help. That's right. Let's see what we have to do next.
Pass
Bear
it
with
on
me.
to Terrace.
Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to put this hummus into a bowl, so that's all ready to go. That's good to go then.
Any more, give me more matching, Terrace.
Oh, there it is.
Well done. Well done. What do you want, 3 stars?
They were well cooked.
Yeah.
There was a hard.
Right, so you just really have to combine everything, but just showing you this homemade hummus.
What did you say?
That's 1 tin of chickpeas
Yes,
there.
that's all right.
That one, and it's a dip. And it's got garlic in it, fresh garlic. Lemon. I'm going to send this round in a minute so you can have a little sniff of it. And it's got paprika in there, so just a teeny bit of spice and garlic and tahini. Have a whiff of that, ladies.
What does the tahini actually do with it?
So the tin just gives it that little bit of
Sesame seed.
Now have a little sniff of that and share it. And
Well,
so I'm going to. You can eat it with the salad in a minute. So what we have to do is put everything together in one big bowl. So we'll probably better do that over here. Or we can do 2 lots, can't we? Should we do 2 lots? So if I put half of this into one bowl, half into the other, somebody can have a stir and a mash. The chatty this lot. And so we probably need to, we've got our garlic here, but we're not cooking it, we're cooking on the hob in a frying pan. So because that's going to be, you know, a sort of direct heat rather than a, you know, simmering soup or something, I'm going to chop this a bit more finely. So I've got my technique for this, which is, I'm a home cook, I'm a nutritionist, I'm not a chef, but I've seen the chefs do this. Can you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
But you're just holding the end of the knife
Yeah.
and going round.
Yeah.
And the one thing I put on my birthday list for my birthday this year, later this year, is pestle and mortar.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Because, you know, seeing there's a lot of things now to make something, to crush the spices. And we have a lodger who's from India and he's always cooking from scratch. And always. So I've made that a little bit finer. See, that's a little bit finer now. We'll put about half of that in there. Half of that. And we'll mix them together. So, sweet potato, combined sweet potato, chickpea, all the ingredients. So that's everything. And what I might do, the onion doesn't look too bad. I might just chop that a little bit finer, some of it as well. Yeah, there's some small bits at the bottom, but there's some chunkier bits at the top. So I'll just make them a little bit finer, so we don't get big. You don't want to chew on big chunks of onion, do you? In these falafels. These can be frozen as well. It's the other benefit of them when you're cooking for one. You let them out when your vegetarian granddaughters come round. Anybody got any vegan granddaughters?
Yes,
Well,
my
this,
grandson.
this is actually vegan, but yeah, we don't. You know, we're not. We cook chicken in pastime. You know, we're not vegetarian or vegan by per se. We're just about eating more plants.
Yeah.
If it's good for you.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but you know, vegan, it's a way of life, isn't it? You know, and you have to be very careful because some people can be junk vegans. They can eat vegan food, but it's all this stuff they buy from the supermarkets that say this is vegan, you know, plant-based. And you read the ingredients and you don't know what they mean. So if you look at the ingredients on something and you can't read it, you don't, you know, it sounds like a chemical. It is. And you know, it doesn't mean it's full of goodness, it just means there's no animals in it. So what can you use instead of eggs if you're making a vegan recipe then? Anyone got any ideas?
Chickpeas.
You can use chickpeas. You can use the liquid that I've thrown away
From the chickpeas, yeah.
and chia seeds, which you can get very easily these days if you've got an Aldi nearby or one of the supermarkets. Chia seeds. So now we're going to make these into some sort of little patties. You know, you'd make a fish patty. It's the same. Absolutely the same. We're going to put our herbs in first. Don't you want to chop some herbs? We're still chopping, ladies. Chop some what? Chop some herbs. So then, the way I did my knife, if you're able to do that, you grab them out and then chop them like really finely. Then we'll like to do the parsley. Yeah. If anyone's got a clean one you want to use, by all means. Thank you, lots of lovely helpers here. I'm going to get the pans ready for this.
You can do a bit and I'll do a bit.
Just time my pans. So we'll start mixing these mixtures together. So if I could, who wants to have a go with a bit of mixing? Who wants to have a go with a bit of mixing that together? Slinging the herbs in there. Some from one table and some from the other. Not all, they're two different herbs. But we need to use a bit from one and a bit from the other. I'll get the pans going. And then we'll talk about how. Is there anybody who? We need 3 tablespoons of gram flour. So this is gram flour. Does anyone know what's in gram flour? No. Chickpeas. Again, it's quite hard to get gram flour, but you can buy, just put regular flour in or any rice flour or anything like that. It's just an extra chickpea sample.
First, you're on level 12. The security goes on that.
Yeah.
One week you have one.
You ready? We're gonna you're not measuring the oil. Should be measuring it really. You put in this in the on the screen. We've added all our ingredients. We just need some salt and pepper, and we need a little bit of cumin there. We've got add some salt and pepper and some seasoning. We're going to also add to our hummus. We need to like work here instead. I know, this is it. Oh, yeah.
I used to go to the Waitrose. The hell of a difference, it's right.
So why, so herbs and spices, why are we putting herbs and spices into? Give it flavour. And it's extra nutrients. Lots of micronutrients in herbs and spices. So how many different foods do you think we need to keep ourselves healthy in a week? Can you imagine? Can anyone guess? How many different foods?
Yeah. No.
Can anyone guess how many different foods
Well, it's mine then.
we need to eat per week?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Probably a new one, that's why.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Probably.
Do you have a? I like cider. Yeah. I like that.
There's a way here, that's it.
You can have it go, but
Yeah, that's it.
coming.
It is. Yeah, it's very, very fine.
I'll send it back to the manufacturer.
Are you mixing it well?
So it's cumin or paprika, does it say?
And will you do it for me? Will you do it for yourself?
This is cumin.
I know it.
Right. We need to
I know where that is. Too much paprika.
Can't see any.
Oh, you're teasing.
Yeah, I think so.
You can use paprika if you prefer. So cumin's a bit of a warmer taste. Paprika's a bit peppery. You just mix that together. Then you're ready. Ready for those to go in the pans.
Oh, the oil is smoking.
It's smoking, isn't it? We don't really want it to
Smoking.
smoke. We don't really want our hands to, the oil to burn, ideally. That one has a little bit. Let's take that off there a second. It's been on waiting. Just let that cool down a second. So what we're then doing is making some, we've mixed it together. Is to make some little patties and put them into our pan. So I'm going to use my hands now. What do you say?
So I'm cooking it tomorrow. Are you all ladies coming to help me?
Yeah.
Yes, me too. So I'll leave it for another day.
See, this is it. What we found in some of the setting is this is exactly what people are doing. They're having once a week, they're having cooking together. So they go to their communal area like this, take it into it, or somebody takes responsibility for it, whichever way around, and you actually cook together, decide what you're going to cook, share the ingredients. So I'm cooking these now. These are, you can make them into little balls, but I'm making them flatter because they'll cook a bit quicker. So they're sort of like a little pack. These mine are always bigger, so sorry about that. Like feeding the 5. My family are quite tall, so I used to make things big. Shouldn't really, but there we are. So we've got. I'm the only short one in the family. Right. So does it smell nice? Does it all smell nice to you?
Yeah.
But you need about 50 different nutrients to have a healthy gut. So if your gut's very important for your general health and your immunity, then 50 different foods a week. But if you eat some mixed spices, mixed herbs, that's about 5 in there. So you're already ticking off quite a few. So by adding your spices, you're adding more nutrients. And we need a healthy gut.
Oh, we're going to feel well today and tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going to feel super healthy. Tummy's not going to know what's
And
hitting.
then back to normal.
And the thing with processed food, yes, it's very convenient, but we will not always get all these extra ingredients. And it often is full of sugar, fat and salt. Right. So you've done it, haven't you? If anybody else wants to do any patties, feel free, or I'll just keep going and fill these pans. And we've got a patty here. That's what they look like. And they're going in our pan. And that side doesn't look like it's cooking. Also, the good news with these is they don't have to cook so hard, do they? Because they are vegetable. You don't have to be so careful that it's meat and it's got to be cooked through and all that. But even when we make burgers, can you imagine being a healthy food people? People make burgers, we put vegetables in them. Wow. Yeah. So we just grate the vegetables and they're called hidden veg burgers. So they're hidden meat burgers, but so you don't tell people what vegetables are in there. They don't know there's courgette in there, and aubergine. They just don't know because they can't see it. Carrot. They just taste of the meat. But these are a great one for your vegan. Who's got the vegan relatives? Yeah.
Now we can cook himself.
Yeah.
Which he does from beginning. He does cook.
He does cook from scratch.
Well, he's the inconvenience, so we can do it himself.
Bring your own.
Yeah.
It. But you see, meat's got so expensive, and a tin of chickpeas isn't the cheapest, is it? I couldn't quite tell you because I didn't do the shopping, how much the chickpeas are now, but it's a little bit cheaper. This is obviously the messy bit. Just me on that messy. You've got all those herbs and spices in them. You can, as I say, make them into little balls. But you could cook them, freeze them, and then all you've got to do is defrost them. So I really like this recipe that one of my colleagues created. Just wash my hands a minute. Who wants to chop some salad? I thought we could have a little bit of salad with this. So we need to chop some salad now. This is our pan of vegetables that we're cooking. The falafels. Need to put them on each side. They don't need too long. They only need a few minutes because these ones have already gone brown. Look, see, they've already gone brown. So they don't need long. Does anybody make fish patties? We did that in the first session. That's filmed. That's on the video on the website if you do use the internet, ladies. These ones might take a bit longer because I've got a feeling that
He's not on.
It's on, but it's kind of not on. These aren't the most efficient at all. They haven't got one of these. They're not the most efficient. If anyone wants to chop a pepper into thin slices for me, I'll just rinse it. And rinse. Anybody want to chop some cucumber into thin slices? You've got some knives still. Lost your knife. Come back. And the chopping board.
Mary can bring.
Right. Mary's been very helpful, doesn't she, like shopping? Right, just wash this for you. So they do need a bit of a wipe, don't they? I'm just chopping some salad. Thanks so much, darling.
Mary, can we have a knife? Mary, can we have a knife over here? Because you're on your feet already.
While you're passing.
It's a lot of work. I mean, we've been out. There's nothing to show for it. Right now.
Every day.
I would make it.
They need to chop it. Well, so let's see. We need a chopping board. Then we need a clean chopping board. We need a clean chopping board. No. Okay. Does anybody want to just chop a little bit of lettuce? This is an organic lettuce. Put pepper there. Sorry, just stripping a little bit.
How did you want it?
So slices. So that way, that's it. And very, very thin slices.
That way.
Out,
Yeah.
that way. Bunch.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a bit of lettuce. We're just putting a bit of side salad on. This is my organic lettuce, so you never know what's going to be in an organic lettuce.
Oh, God, don't tell me. Oh, no, no.
Not too fine.
Do you
think?
Slugging your left.
Just have a little bit of salad with it. No, we're not quite into spring yet, but again, we're just upping our vegetable content here. So there's some chopping going on. Actually, do you want somebody chop a green pepper for me? Because we're going to need some hummus. The oysters are washing. So those ones are probably nearly ready. Though they seem to have slipped as well. Anybody want to chop a? Great. I think they thank you so much.
You want all of it now?
Well, look at people's bare mouths.
Yes, all of it, and just like that one.
Fit.
See how that one's going.
Drain half.
So, can I show you a trick?
Yeah.
Chef.
Oh, no.
Not cooking for them.
So what about the, this is very rubbish, is it?
Rubbing. I bet every slug line is a happy roll.
No, that's nice, that's the guy.
Do you want them long and thin?
That's
Like that, or would
perfect,
you like them
perfect, long and thin, is perfect, perfect, right, so just put a little side salad on our dish. We've got our falafels going here, been a great group today, so. Gonna.
Just
No, no,
look
no,
at people's mouths, if they will fit in.
Cut your hand. Right, what we can do. Want to just get some plates out for? Do we have plates in this kitchen?
Yes,
we are. Lots of places.
Yeah.
There's some large ones as well as small.
Right.
I told you to say the third in the pan.
It's just a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's, you know, how people have.
Unless you turn it.
Hold up to the camera so you can see it, Norfolk House, because you've been going for an hour now. I'll show you what this looks like with a bit of salad and a bit of hummus, because these are ready. I'm going to put two on here.
yes.
Move them in. Right,
No,
grab a bit of salad. Just going to show this to
You
the
are.
camera.
No. I think Janet may come a new lady.
So, yeah.
She's taking need to be.
And
Oh, perfect.
that only has gram flour on it, so it's not going to. And a little bit of hummus there. So
Ah,
how about that, ladies?
lovely.
You've done very well. So I'm just going to show this to you. These are cooked now at Norfolk House, and I'm going to say goodbye. We've got a little bit of side salad. We've got a little bit of hummus, so we can dip our dish into there. And these are sweet potato falafels. Well done for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
I'll just show you saying bye-bye to you. They're going to eat now. Mary's in the kitchen. Bye for now.
Bye.